My high school bully just applied for a job at my company. Part 1. He made my life hell. I read it. Throwaway for obvious reasons. This one's been sitting in my chest for years, and I finally feel ready to let it out. I never thought I'd get to a point in life where I could even think about this without breaking into a cold sweat, but here we are. Maybe you've had someone like this in your life. Someone who made school feel like a prison. Someone who carved their name into your identity in all the worst ways. For me, that person was Matt. We met in 7th grade. I was the quiet kid. Skinny. Glasses. Loved computers. Spoke when spoken to. Sat in the back. If you've seen any coming-of-age movie, you already know who I was. And you already know who he was. Matt was popular in that gross, magnetic kind of way. Not charming, but loud. Athletic, but lazy. His dad coached football. His mom worked at the front desk. He knew he owned the place. He had a gang of kids orbiting him. Guys who laughed when he laughed, barked when he barked. And I was his favorite target. It started small. Nicknames like Urkel or Four Eyes. Whatever decade he was pulling from, it didn't matter. I tried to ignore him. That made it worse. By 8th grade, it wasn't just verbal. He once dumped a bottle of water on my backpack. As a joke, while I was in the bathroom. Another time he erased my presentation from the class computer before I could present. I had to wing it. Nearly cried in front of everyone. The teacher thought I was being dramatic. You should have saved a backup. Yeah. Thanks, Mrs. Drummond. I don't want to make this a sob story, but I need you to understand. This wasn't petty teenage stuff. This was relentless. There were days I pretended to be sick just to avoid him. I even asked my mom if I could transfer schools once. She didn't get it. You'll miss your friends, she said. I didn't have any. No one wanted to get caught near me. Guilt by association. Matt made sure of that. High school was worse. Matt got bigger. Stronger. Louder. I just got better at disappearing. I kept my head down, worked hard, and counted the days until graduation. My escape plan? College. Somewhere far. Somewhere where people didn't know my name, or his. And I made it out. Barely. But let me tell you something weird. Sometimes the pain follows you even after the person's gone. I went to college in Oregon. Studied computer science. Found my people. Played D&D. Fell in love with coffee. I even dated. Imagine that. The shy little geek who couldn't look anyone in the eye in high school was suddenly tutoring CS 201 and flirting with a girl who liked my Star Wars hoodie. But even then, I'd have nightmares. Not every night. Just sometimes. I'd be back in the halls of my old school, searching for my locker, late to class, and there he'd be, Matt, waiting. Always smirking. Even in my dreams, I couldn't shake him. Fast forward a few years. I graduated. Took an entry-level job at a software startup. Ate too much ramen. Moved 3 times. Failed a couple of side hustles. But I kept growing. Eventually, and I still can't fully believe this, I started my own company with 2 friends from college. A small AI consulting firm. It was slow at first, but something clicked. We landed 1 good client. Then another. Then 5. Before I knew it, I was hiring. Interviews. Benefits. Health plans. Like adult stuff. I was finally in a place where I felt proud of my life. Like maybe all that pain had a purpose. Like I'd become someone stronger because of it. And then, 2 months ago, I was checking our hiring inbox. We just posted a few new roles. Software devs, junior data analysts, admin support. I was skimming resumes while drinking my 4th coffee of the morning when I saw a name that hit me like a brick. Matthew R. Carmichael. I froze. I stared at the name for a solid minute, not blinking. My heart started pounding. Like my body remembered something my brain had buried. Couldn't be him. I clicked. Degree, business admin. Graduated community college. Worked sales. Customer support. Some freelance SEO. Lives in the same area. There was even a headshot attached. It was him. Older, sure. A bit puffier in the face. Still had that same cocky smirk, though, the one that used to twist into a sneer every time he called me a virgin loser in front of the whole lunchroom. I actually laughed. Out loud. Like some kind of movie villain. Not out of joy, more like disbelief. He was applying to work at my company. The guy who made high school unbearable. The reason I hated myself for years. The source of so many breakdowns, therapy sessions, missed opportunities, was now politely asking for employment. I reread the email. Dear hiring manager, I'm excited to apply for the junior support analyst position at company name. I've followed your company's work and admire your commitment to innovation. He had no idea who I was. Or maybe he did. Maybe he did recognize the company name. Maybe he did Google the co-founders and saw my name and hoped I'd forgotten. Or maybe, and this is somehow worse, he didn't think I'd matter enough to remember. I didn't respond. I closed the laptop. I walked around my apartment for about an hour. Angry, confused, weirdly sad. Because for all those years, I dreamed about this moment. About winning. About showing him who I'd become. But now that it was real, it didn't feel victorious. It felt messy. What do you even do when your past shows up at your doorstep like that? I didn't tell my co-founders yet. We're a small team, so I still personally handle interviews. We hadn't scheduled anything for him yet. But I knew I had a decision to make. A big one. And whether I liked it or not, I wanted to see him. I needed to. So I flagged his resume and scheduled the interview. My high school bully just applied for a job at my company. Part 2, the interview. Hey again, Reddit. So, yeah, I scheduled the interview. I know what you're thinking. Why not just delete the resume? Why even entertain it? I've asked myself that a dozen times. But honestly, I think part of me needed to see him again. Not to humiliate him, not for revenge. I just wanted to look him in the eyes and not feel small for once. That kid who used to hide in the library during lunch? He wanted closure. And maybe, just a little power too. I scheduled him for a Friday morning, 10:30 a.m. video call. That gave me 4 days to prepare. I told my co-founders I'd handle it solo, like I usually do with entry-level roles. I didn't tell them why. I couldn't. It felt too personal. Too messy. Friday came fast. Too fast. 10:29 a.m., I sat in front of my laptop, trying to calm my breathing. I must have opened and closed the Zoom link 5 times. My hand was literally shaking on the mouse. Then, ding! He joined. And there he was. Same guy. Older, sure. Some stubble. Fewer neck veins. He wore a navy polo like he thought it made him look professional. He smiled, a little awkwardly. Hey there, he said. Thanks for meeting with me. He didn't recognize me. Not even a flicker of recognition. I wanted to scream. Instead, I smiled. No problem. Thanks for taking the time. He went on like it was any other interview. Gave his little elevator pitch. Talked about how he got into tech. Mentioned that he'd been through some stuff the last few years and was looking to rebuild his career. I asked all the normal questions. And the whole time, I couldn't stop staring at him, sitting there trying to sound professional and humble, when all I could think about was the day he snapped the arm off my glasses in the cafeteria and said, "Now you're really blind, freak." Do you know how surreal it is to interview your bully? I wanted to blurt it out. Do you even remember me? Do you know who I am? Do you remember what you did to me? But I didn't. Not yet. Instead, I played it cool. Took notes. Gave him polite nods. Told him we'd get back to him soon. The call ended. I sat in silence for a long, long time. I'll be honest with you. Part of me hoped he'd recognize me. That he'd apologize. That he'd say, "Holy sh*T, I just realized who you are." But nothing. Just a guy who wanted a job. I didn't sleep much that weekend. I kept replaying old memories. That time he put gum in my hoodie. That time he posted a fake message from me to a girl in our class, and everyone laughed for weeks. That time I came home crying and my mom asked if it was just teenage stuff. It was never just teenage stuff. I talked to my therapist about it. Yes, I have one. Highly recommend. She asked me what I really wanted. Closure, I said. I think. Or validation? She asked. Maybe both. She told me something I haven't stopped thinking about. Sometimes we imagine these perfect moments of justice, but reality rarely gives them to us wrapped in a bow. Sometimes we have to make peace without them. I nodded, then went home and stared at his resume again. The next week, I called him back for a second interview. This time, I planned to say something. The call started the same way. Small talk. He seemed a little more relaxed. Joked that he was surprised to get a call back. I smiled. And then I said it. Before we continue, I have to ask. Do you remember Everdale High School? Class of 2010? His face shifted. It was subtle, a twitch in the brow, a half-second of hesitation. Yeah, he said. Why? I didn't say anything. Just watched. Wait, he squinted, then blinked. Wait. Are you, holy crap. Ethan? Ethan Rowe? Boom. There it was. Recognition. And then, slowly, something else. Not panic, not fear. Just discomfort. He leaned back. Man, wow. It's been, 15 years? 14, I said. Since you told Mrs. Nolan I cheated on the math test and got me suspended. His face dropped. Dead silence. Look, dude, he started. I didn't realize, I didn't know this was your company. I nodded. More silence. Then he said it. The thing I never thought I'd hear. I'm sorry. Seriously. I know I was a piece of sh*T in high school. I've done a lot of growing up since then. I was dealing with some stuff back then, but I know that's not an excuse. I really am sorry. And for a second, I didn't know what to feel. Was that it? Did that fix anything? No. But it was something. I asked him a few more questions. Nothing serious. Just enough to process what he said. He kept apologizing in small ways. Little comments like, I know I probably made your life hell. Or, I wish I could go back and undo some of that. He seemed genuine. Nervous, but not performative. Before ending the call, I told him I'd think about the position. And I did. All night. The next morning, I met with my co-founders. I told them the whole story. They listened. Asked questions. One of them laughed out loud, not maliciously, just out of sheer disbelief. No F***king way, he said. What are the odds? I told him I wasn't sure what to do. Technically, Matt was qualified. Barely. But he wasn't the best candidate. Just a candidate. I laid it all out. The bullying, the past, the interview. And then I asked the question I'd been dreading. Would hiring him be a mistake? Or would not hiring him mean I'm still letting him control my life? They didn't have a perfect answer. Neither did I. But then one of them said, "Why not bring him in on probation? No promises. See if he's actually changed." That stuck with me. So I sent the email. Subject: Interview follow-up. Hi Matt. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us. We'd like to offer you a provisional contract for the junior support analyst role. Please note, this will be a 60-day probation period, after which we'll evaluate performance and team fit. Welcome aboard. Ethan. Yeah. I hired him. Well, not fully. But I gave him a shot. Maybe I'm a sucker. Maybe I should have deleted his resume the second I saw it. But a part of me thinks people can change. And maybe offering grace doesn't mean letting go of the past. It just means it doesn't control you anymore. But the story's not over. Because once Matt joined the team, things got complicated. Part 3. Old habits die hard. Hey Reddit. Back one last time. If you haven't read parts 1 and 2, you'll probably want to catch up. But here's the TLDR. My high school bully Matt made my teenage years hell. 14 years later, he unknowingly applied for a job at my company. I interviewed him. He recognized me, apologized, and I hired him on a probationary 60-day contract. So what happened next? Let's just say the past doesn't always stay in the past, even when everyone pretends it does. Week 1, weird vibes. Matt started the following Monday. To his credit, he came in early, wore a clean button-up, was polite to everyone. He even brought coffee for the whole team. I don't drink dairy, but still, solid gesture. Our company's small, under 30 people, so new hires are noticeable. I introduced him during the team meeting. People nodded. No one batted an eye. But I did notice something. He kept watching me. Like, not in a creepy way. Just trying to read me. Like he wasn't sure how to act around me. I don't blame him, honestly. If I had bullied someone and then ended up reporting to them a decade later, I'd probably be confused too. The first few days, he was quiet, focused, asked good questions, got his onboarding tasks done. Slack messages were respectful, punctual with stand-ups. But there was this tension, like we were both pretending it wasn't weird. I decided to be professional, friendly but distant. I treated him like any other junior analyst, gave him feedback, sent him docs. Nothing personal. But then came the Slack DM. Matt, hey, can I ask you something real quick? Me, sure, what's up? Matt, I just wanted to say thanks again for the opportunity and for not holding a grudge. Me, you're welcome. Matt, I know I messed up back in the day. Like big time. If there's ever anything I can do to make it right, let me know. Me, just be good at your job. That's all I ask. That shut it down pretty cleanly. I wasn't interested in heart-to-hearts. Still, I appreciated the message. Maybe he really was trying. Week 3, the cracks show. Things were okay, until they weren't. One morning, one of our developers, Jamie, pinged me. Hey, did you assign Matt to the client tickets in the Delta folder? I hadn't. Turns out Matt had jumped into a client Slack channel and started answering questions without approval. And worse, some of his info was wrong. Nothing catastrophic, but it could have been messy. I called him into a 1:1. Matt, I appreciate the initiative, but we have a process. You're still in training. You can't jump into client comms without clearance. He looked embarrassed. Got it. Sorry, won't happen again. I believed him. Until it did happen again. Different client. Different folder. Similar issue. Again, he didn't ask anyone. Just barged in trying to look useful. This time, I was firmer. You can't keep doing this, Matt. It affects trust. Our clients expect vetted answers. This isn't high school. There are consequences. He nodded. Looked like a kicked puppy. Yeah. My bad. I guess I'm trying to prove I belong here. That hit me. I saw the insecurity behind the act. But this wasn't a therapy session. It was work. So I told him, you don't have to prove anything. Just follow the process. That's enough. He agreed. Or at least, he pretended to. Week 5, the joke. It was a Wednesday. We were in the lunchroom. A few people gathered around. Casual chat. Snacks, the usual. Someone mentioned yearbook photos. Old school cringe. Everyone laughed. And Matt, sitting across the room, chuckled and said, Man, back in my school, we had this kid who looked like Harry Potter got hit by a truck. Glasses, bad skin, the whole 9 yards. Dude got roasted every day. It got quiet. He kept going. He was always hiding in the library. I think he cried once 'cause someone took his calculator. People glanced at me. I stared at him. He finally noticed. Our eyes locked. His face paled. Oh, sh*t. I didn't mean you, man. Just reminded me of someone else. ***. Everyone knew. Janie mumbled something and walked out. I followed her a few minutes later. That afternoon, I sent Matt a calendar invite. Performance review, 15 minutes. Private. He showed up looking nervous. I didn't sugarcoat it. That comment at lunch wasn't okay. He fumbled. I swear I didn't mean anything by it. I was just joking around. I didn't think. That's the problem, Matt. You don't think. You keep trying to prove you've changed, but your actions say otherwise. He slouched in the chair. I'm trying, man. I really am. I screw things up. I always do. For a second, I almost felt bad. But then I remembered the look on Jamie's face. And mine. 14 years ago. Hearing those exact same jokes. Powerless. I didn't yell. I didn't lecture. I just said, You've got 2 weeks left on your probation. If you want to stay, show me something different. If not, this ends here. He nodded. Quietly. The final week. He behaved. Seriously. No jokes. No freelance advice. He was quiet. Focused. Got his tickets done. Helped a teammate debug a script. Stayed late once. Was it real? I don't know. But it was enough. Our team had a meeting the day before his contract was up. I asked everyone for feedback. Anonymous form. I didn't sway them. The results? Works hard, but unpredictable. Nice guy, but can be tone deaf. If he stays, needs clear structure. Fair. Honest. Cautious. I thought about it all night. The decision. Friday morning, I called Matt in. He sat down like he already knew. I looked at him, the guy who once called me worthless in front of 30 people. The guy who now waited for my decision. And I said, We're extending your contract. 3 more months. But there's no third chance. You either show us you belong, or you don't. He nodded. Thank you. I won't waste it. I nodded too. And that was it. No applause. No cinematic moment. Just a guy trying, maybe for the first time, to earn something the right way. So why tell you all this? Because healing isn't always clean. I thought hiring Matt would be empowering. That I'd feel like I won. Like I'd beat him. But it's not about beating anyone. It's about owning your story. and deciding who you want to be now. Forgiveness isn't weakness. Accountability isn't revenge. Sometimes people change. Sometimes they don't. But I changed. And that's what matters. Thanks for reading. See you around Reddit.